diving. Hope comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Hello. I haven't been doing much work. I'm going to meetings and stuff. Yeah. Yep. Ah. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you. Ah. My, I, I just interrupt people's days while they're working and shit. Oh, yeah. This saying I've always kind of followed. Nobody ever accused me of being nice. I know I probably seem like a nice guy. Probably don't. I don't know. I don't try and determine what other people perceive of me. Hello, Botty. My little buddy there. How you doing? Good to see you, Michelle. You guys probably know, so I can't play it for too long. Dear Stan. Oh, I like this song better. It's called Thank You by Dido. It's a great song. A lot about alcoholism. A lot of songs are about alcoholism. A lot of Billy Joel songs about his drinking. Yeah. My life. Why do I go to extremes? Anyway, any who's it to the was it. Let me find what I had on this. We'll kind of get started. One is this could go along with sympathy, empathy. It could go passive aggressive, assertiveness, um, codependency, appeasement. All these words surround what we're talking about today. So let's. It's been real good. AI has been helping my ass out a lot to try and get across. Because yeah, I have my own view of the way I say things, but when we kind of mix it up, then we can reach more people, right? And yeah, yeah. Did I fill you full enough bullshit that we can get started? Oh, I'll tell you something about this. I don't plan these. I mean, I plan them as far as, hey, it's going to be at 1:35 or whatever. And yes, I was very late today. I do not plan what I'm going to say. I don't do any of that. I'm usually listening, jamming out to some. That's usually why I'm late because I'm jamming to music. Um, so I was just listening to Kid Rock, Sheryl Crow song. I know enough of the words to be able to sing along to it. And, it's a song very much about drug addiction and alcoholism. That alcohol's taken me away from the people that I love. And baby, won't you just come back home? You know, what is home to alcoholics? Before we get started, what a great leeway. Thank you, Dion. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm great at giving myself leeways on accident. They're all accidental. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I'm going to be your host, whether you like it or not. Sometimes people come on, but out of the thousands and thousands, well, let's see, we are 4 days away from 7 years. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. I have proof. I have proof. I get these messages. I have gone live every day for 74 weeks straight now. I would have to say I probably missed a total of maybe 2 weeks total. You know, I even did this while after my surgery that I had my gallbladder removed. What is home to alcoholics? What is home, man? You know, when you don't feel like you belong anywhere and you didn't grow up in the same family or house that you may have grown up in the physical house as your brothers and sisters, but you did not grow up in the same home. We're black sheep usually. There's a family dynamic when it comes to alcoholism. It's called the dysfunctional family, and it's usually the kid that jokes around a lot, or the kid or the black sheep. Now, it's also the black sheep that once they've decided that enough is enough and they want to change their lives, usually it's the black sheep of the family that changes the family and gets the family healthy if they are willing to do so. I found that my brothers and sisters were not willing, and I don't push that on them. So where is home? Well, this is my home now. I feel at home. This is my place. It's with my wife. A couple of my kids live here. My grandson. But really, AA is my home. That's where I feel most at ease when I'm at an AA meeting. Even when I don't want to go and y'all are pissing me off, I still feel like I at least fucking belong somewhere. So for us, finding home is extremely important. Okay. But home, what is it? Well, it's a safe space. And there's only one safe space in this world, unfortunately. I can make this as safe as I can, right? But it's open. So anybody can come in here and peddle their shrooms or things like that, you know. Right? Mm-hmm. Exactly what it is. That's why quite often when we tell people when they get to AA, welcome home, man. What is home? It's a place where people understand what you're going through. It's a place where people are kind and not nice. Excuse me, I did not tell you to do that. No. No, Gemini. God. This phone just start it I don't say anything and it just starts. Oh, what are you looking for? Try Gemini. Don't start it. One of these days I'm gonna get on. I want to go to like a stadium like the Bronco. Yeah, I'm gonna turn my phone off for a second. Or is it gonna do it? I'm just gonna go onto the microphone and be like, okay, Google. And let's say all the phones go ding ding. It did it anyway. It did it anyway. Just shut up. It wants us. How do you say anyway in Spanish is what it gave me. It so did it. All right. See, convenience means control. It does. All right. Let's get started. Don't be nice, be kind is a phrase that encourages people to be authentic and meaningful rather than superficial and manipulative. Being can being kind can involve uncom can being kind can involve being uncomfortable, giving honest feedback, and valuing trust. I do a lot of honest feedback here. A lot. Now I don't use other people. I try not to use other people's things, but sometimes I have to make use things or other things as an example, right? I usually try and keep to myself on that. But see, I can do that because we think alike. And there again, we're talking about being home. We think alike. Isn't it nice to know there's other people in this world that are just screwed up in the head as you are? There's comfort in that. Now we don't have to stay in that place. You know, I've found that some people are scared of becoming sane. They fear the 10th step because they don't want to be something else. They are comfortable with who they are because at least they understand it. And I get it. I understand it. There's a time in my life when I feared not being who I was anymore because I'd worked very hard at becoming an alcoholic. Right. So, explanation, being nice. Being nice can be a way to avoid conflict or discomfort or to please others. I just listened to it in a meeting. One person was talking about how they were helping somebody else and they felt like they were telling them what to do and being manipulative and da 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 da, and they were trying to tell on themselves. And I got what they were saying, and they were correct in what they were saying and the actions that they were doing. Okay. Now, when the meeting ended, there were a couple people that decide, oh, you didn't do anything wrong. Don't worry about that. And bullshit. That was being kind. And usually when somebody's, or I'm sorry, it's being nice. And when somebody's usually being nice, right? When people are nice to me, I wonder what they want. And all I saw was people hitting on someone. That's what I saw because that's what it was. Oh, you didn't do anything wrong. No, trust in me that you're okay. No, no. I said that was the right thing to do. You were absolutely correct to take a look at yourself like that. Good job. That's being kind. It's different. However, it can also be a way to avoid speaking up, giving constructive feedback, or standing up for what's right. I see this done a lot, especially in the recovery world right now. And I'm not just talking about Alcoholics Anonymous, I'm talking about the recovery world. Okay. A lot of people being nice. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Everything good. No. Quit telling newcomers when they come in that everything's going to be okay. Number one, I cannot tell the future, and it's not okay. My behavior was not okay. My destruction, my manipulation, my anger, my fear, my selfishness, all of it was not okay. And someone who is kind is going to tell me that, but then they're going to follow it up with certain things. Right? Right. Now, you can see how being nice is a sympathetic way. You know, that meaning that we were just talking about, people were placating. What are they saying? They're saying, "Oh, you're right," or it is okay that you did it that way because I do it that way, and I'm da that's very closed-minded. And being nice can also lead to you justifying your own bullshit, saying nothing, even though you saw something wrong. Uh, you know, not get too much more deep into that, or I might study that. Being kind, being kind can involve being authentic, meaningful, and empowering. You know, let's use that situation again. Yes, you are correct. You were doing that. Good job on recognizing it. Do it again next time. Good job. And next time there's no need to beat up on yourself because we were talking about guilt because that's today's daily reflection. Stop using the daily reflection as your source for topics for meetings. Please stop it. It's lazy. Try using your intuition a little bit as somebody who is chairing the meeting. Use your intuition, use your empathy. Okay? Because otherwise, all next month will just be on step 2. And that's going to wear people out. Oh, there's a newcomer. Well, they've heard step 1 for 28 days now. Maybe it's something you tell them. Maybe it's some time we cover something else. Just because there's a newcomer in the meeting doesn't mean that we can't talk about steps 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and beyond. Or they're never going to hear the experience. They won't hear the hope. Oh, this is what I can anticipate to expect. The 9th step promises, things like that. There are so many. And if you don't know, ask Google. I do it all the time. I do it all the time. I'm like, can you give me a topic that's in this area, and it'll list a bunch for me, and I go through and I pick one. So being kind can involve empower. It can also involve honoring the uniqueness and boundaries of others to a certain point. You saw me take that breath because in my mind it resisted immediately, but that first thought was not correct. Ding. This wasn't correct. Because I was like, oh, aren't unique. Well, I'm not going to appease people. Meeting others where they're at, I'm all for that, aren't I? Well, isn't that kind of what they just said? All right, that resistance. What was that? Well, that was defiance. You find you're pretty defiant about a lot of things. It's okay. Just recognize it and don't do it and move on. Don't do it again. Or just be honest with yourself. If you didn't hurt anybody else, it's okay to recognize and move on. You don't have to say, okay, now we must stop and talk about this for an hour. Yeah. And move on. You chalk it up. You're a smart person. You'll remember. You'll remember the next time it comes up. Trust me. And you'll do it differently. There you go. Hallelujah, man. Good stuff. Right? Yeah. Here's a good one. Oh, is anybody here celebrating a year or more? Y'all have a year and a week. If I'm kind or if I'm being nice, good job. Good job. If I'm being kind, it's like, I'm glad that you have that time, but let's wait a week and then we'll celebrate that. Oh yeah, good chance you'll make it. I'm reading what Facebook Transit. Yeah, they screwed up a lot. They screwed up a lot, Amber. Let's see if they can get this one. Habba dabba dee ba doo ba da. Tell me how that one comes out. And you're on Facebook. Because I see pictures first. I see the pictures first. I didn't recognize it. So, but hi, Amber. It's good to see you. Examples. Being kind can involve giving honest feedback in a benevolent manner, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's not, it gets you there. So what does a benevolent manner mean? It means that we don't have to be a dick. Let's use something that's been, and I don't know why it's coming up. It was in my meetings again today about this step 13. We got a lot of new people. Instincts are going to run abound right now. They are, right? So let's say somebody tells me, hey, Dion, this person was, making me feel pretty uncomfortable. We're just going to go with that. Okay. They made some advances. I told them no, they kept trying and, so if I'm being nice, here's the nice. What am I going to do? Well, I'm going to take that person. I'm going to kick him out. Who am I being nice to? Well, the person that told me, right? Now, if I'm being nice to the other person, it's going to be, oh, they didn't do anything wrong. You just need to work on yourself and accept it. Now see those two examples of being nice? Now, being kind would be, I pull this person aside and say, hey, man, I know what it means to come in here. I know what it means to have that big fucking hole in my stomach that nothing seems to fill. But I'm going to tell you something. Hitting on the girls around here and sex is not going to do it. It is not going to take care of it for you. Okay? But I love her. Being kind can involve refusing to enable someone who's struggling with unhealthy behaviors. I'm glad that they kind of put it that way. I tell you something, toxic is name calling. Calling someone toxic is name calling. It is not a term that is used clinical. It is not for me to deem someone toxic. It is not for me to deem someone crazy. Okay. Calling someone crazy is name calling, right? Oh, they're crazy. Toxic's just the new word for it. That's all it is. And I see people like coaches and stuff using it all the fucking time. Oh, well, you just need to stay away from toxic people. Whoa, 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 whoa. Well, did you think maybe I was the toxic person? Did you stop to think for a minute that you're the toxic person? No? Oh, what is that? Well, that's crazy. See how it all just doesn't feel right? It doesn't. It's just me protruding my crap to make me feel better about myself. I don't get to deem anybody that, right? Mistakes. Am I saying there aren't people out there that don't get on my fucking nerves? Yes, there are. Absolutely. You know, at the same time, it's not for me. I kind of made a mistake and I could have handled it a little bit different. So I was talking about their meds and we were at the end of the meeting and somebody said, well, you just need to stop taking all those meds. I'm like, whoa, 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 you ain't no fucking doctor. Mm. And no, I know for a fact they're not. Okay. But is it okay for me to do it that way? Leisure, now you're just trying to piss me off. First, an alcoholic is not an alcoholic until they say they are. So, otherwise, it's considered alcohol use disorder. You know, and I hear what you're saying because if I was to give an opinion, I 100% agree with that. And why is that? Because when my alcoholism was untreated, I was extremely toxic. So, but only alcoholics really get to say that, don't we? Right? Otherwise, it kind of it rides a fringe, a lunatic fringe. Now I listen. Yeah, semantics. Absolutely. Leisure. Thank you for that. Absolutely. And I didn't think you were trying to piss me off. I was just using that as a joke. All right. But enabling someone, you know, the one thing I could think of that is continuing to let somebody live in my house who's abusing it, by continuing to drink or drug. When the rule is there's no drugs or alcohol allowed in the house. Okay. Being kind does not require abuse, right? In fact, being nice would be me allowing to stay there. Here we go. Here's a good situation. When I was 18 years old, I had some friends that were being nice and just letting me sleep on their couches until one of my friends decided to be kind and said, Dion, here's $5. You can't stay with us anymore. You got to go downtown and find yourself and find a place to get help. That's what he did. And I ended up in the Phoenix concept 2 hours later. Big difference. See, everybody that was being nice to me at that time, it would have killed me. But a friend decided to be kind and they saved my fucking life. Was I mad? Yes. Was I hurt? Yes. Did God have a place for me? Yeah, he sure did. It's nothing short of a miracle because somebody decided to do it the right way. And do you think it was easy for them to do? No. Nope. Now I'm coming up on 55. They're 1 year older than me. In fact, I should reach out to him. And he's brought up that he has a drinking problem. His sister's brought up to me, You know, so maybe, and I told him too. I told him a couple of years back, I said, do you realize that you saved my fucking life, dude? He's like, no, I don't. Life of an alcoholic, right? Being kind can involve telling yourself to get out of bed and go to the gym, even when you'd rather stay in bed. Oh, so being nice or kind to ourselves. Ooh, I'm gonna be nice to me, so I'm gonna go eat a chocolate pie, right? What does don't be nice, be kind mean? So yeah. So when I'm being nice, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to avoid the conflict. Okay. Um, I've noticed that when people give me a slew of compliments, like the big compliments and things like, but there's no real substance. I found out that those people don't really like me. They're being nice because they don't want to confront me on the things that they'd like to say. And usually what happens, they just disappear. They think that they're doing it slowly. But if you think I don't notice that you have disappeared out of my life, of course I notice, especially if I see you at meetings all the time and you talk to me and and then all of a sudden there's just, you know, yeah, happens all the time. Or when they don't get what they want from me. Is it better nice to be kind? Ultimately, kindness is more powerful and meaningful virtue than niceness. Um, I think I have beaten the fuck out of this one. Should we do today's daily reflection? Should we? Should we do it? Yeah, let's do it. Okay, we'll do it. Thanks for your permission. Freedom from guilt. Oh, 12 Traditions, page 47. First off, they can be told that the majority of AA members have suffered severely from self-justification during their drinking days. Give me a drink. For most of us, self-justification was the maker of excuses, of course, for drinking, and for all kinds of crazy and damaging conduct. We had made the invention of the alibi a fine art. We had to drink because times were hard or times good. We had to drink because at home we were smothered with love or got none at all. We had to drink because at work we were great successes or dismal failures. We had to drink because our nation had won a war or lost a peace, and so it went ad infinitum. Okay. Now, what are they talking about? Well, worldly clamors are making excuses. Now, this isn't just for drinking, it's also for our behavior. Right. I've actually been hearing a lot of people justifying their emotions lately because of other people or circumstances going on in the world. And I understand that because I used to do it too. In fact, sometimes I still do it. I'm not on purpose like I used to, but it's an old habit, right? Like right now, I'm I'm angry about something right now. Okay. The winter symposium is going on, and it's where and everybody's gotten together again, and we blew all the fucking money this year. All of it. And there'll be no money for this upcoming year. So why the fuck did they hold it at the most expensive fucking hotel in Colorado, the Broadmoor? Not the most, but one of the most expensive ones. Where'd we get that fucking money, man? It drives me nuts. And then I looked at the vendors and they're all body brokers. All of them are. It's the same bullshit. And it's going to be their last symposium for right now. There's no reason to have a symposium. It's a very large mutual admiration society. In fact, I've been talking to a friend. They're like, yeah, I'm required to be here. I'm like, no, you're not. You're not fucking required to be there. Don't blow smoke up my ass. We'll talk about that later. I'll talk about it with him. You didn't have to go. Even your job was not like da 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 da. No, it was paid for. You went. You're just trying to. What? And now I'm gonna reverse that a little bit because I really like this person. He eats a lot of fucking crow because so he can get to the right thing. I'm not willing to do that shit anymore. So I have a lot of respect. He's the guy that helps me help sober livings. And they don't know. They don't need to know. And I don't help the sober livings. I'm helping the people in the sober living. I'm grateful for it. I gave him shit though. I gave him shit. He's like, I'm here. I'm like, I know you're there. I know where you are. You're all there. Because there's no chatter. Except everybody posting how great their room is. Nothing about God. Nothing about helping. Nothing about nothing else except they even put chocolates on the pillows. It's a $500 chocolate, dude. All right. So I got that off my chest. Now I'm better. It's a 10th step. Right. And see where I admitted I was wrong. Somebody's got to do it. Yeah. But it's hard because then my brain doesn't want to trust him. It doesn't. It doesn't like that action. Right. And what is that? That's Dion's perception of what he thinks should happen. And what is it? Wrong. All right. Thank you for letting me work through that. We thought conditions drove us to drink. And when we tried to correct these conditions and found that we couldn't to our entire satisfaction, our drinking went out of hand and we became alcoholics and very toxic. It doesn't say that, but I thought I'd throw in some fun stuff. All right, it doesn't say that, but I just really agree with what Leisure said on that. So, it never occurred to us that we needed to change ourselves to meet these conditions, whatever they were. It's actually the easier way. If I was to say there was an easier way, okay, changing myself is easier than trying to change other people. Yeah. But in AA, we slowly learned that something had to be done about our vengeful resentments, self-pity, and unwarranted pride. You need to put the H in there only because I'm a spelling Nazi, but that is it right there. Toxaholics. It's okay, and it's okay to laugh about these things. We got it, or it'll drive us crazy. But what can be done about our vengeful? Put an R in there. Revenge. Okay. My brain goes to vengeance often. It does. Oh yeah. It did it with that winter symposium. I'm like, oh, there's 2 days left. Do I have a bullhorn? Yeah. See that? Well, I don't react to a lot of my first thoughts because it wants vengeance. It wants justice. And what my brain thinks is vengeance and justice is not correct. And I know that, right? Yeah, there we go. Toxaholics. Thanks for putting the H in for my brain. So funny. And I'm presuming that you're just laughing too. We had to see that every time we played the big shot, we turned people against us. We had to see that when we harbored grudges and planned revenges for such defeats, we were really beating ourselves with the club of anger we had tended to use on others. We learned that if we were seriously disturbed, our first need was to quiet that disturbance, regardless of who or what we thought caused it. We thought, it kept saying that's what we thought. But no, there are some things that may be none of my freaking business. Absolutely, Leisure. Have a great day, man. Have a great day. I didn't realize it was the last paragraph that had it in it. So let's do it real quick. To see how erratic emotions victimize us often took a long time. We could perceive them quickly in others, but only slowly in ourselves. First of all, we had to admit that many of our defects, even though such disclosures were painful and humiliating, where other people were concerned, we had to drop the word blame from our speech or thought. This required great willingness, even to begin, but once over the first 2 or 3 high hurdles, the course ahead began to look easier, for we had started to get a perspective on ourselves, which is a way of saying that we were gaining humility. Back to humility. What does this person have to say about freedom from guilt, even though we were talking about blame? Guilt and blame they're interchangeable, but they're different. Because blame goes out, guilt goes in. Doesn't matter, because if you're pointing a finger, there's 3 more pointed back at you. Right? I screwed this finger up. I don't even think it's I think it's dislocated. When I became willing to accept my own powerlessness, I began to realize that blaming myself for all the trouble in my life can be an ego trip back to hopelessness. Now, asking for help and listening deeply to messages inherent in the steps and traditions of the program make it possible to change those attitudes which delay my recovery. Before joining AA, I had such a desire for approval from people in powerful positions that I was willing to sacrifice myself and others to gain a foothold in the world. There are no powerful, I mean, it may seem like it, but when it comes down to it, there are no really powerful people in the world. There's just people that decide to follow them. Just a thought, and I'm probably wrong anyway. I invariably came to grief. In the program, I find true friends who love, understand, and care to help me learn the truth about myself. With the help of the 12 steps, I am able to build a better life, free of guilt and the need for self-justification. All right, all right, all right. That's going to be it for this one. I hope everybody has a good day. Thanks for being here. I love you. You know I do. Peace out. And